welcome to another layout. This one is a design team layout for Crazy Craft Obsession, which is an online store that you can buy all your scrapbooking and journaling supplies, and they ship to Australia and New Zealand, and they're just a little local online store. So show them some love. The link's in the description below, and they also have fun challenges over on their Facebook group. So go ahead, show them some love. If there's anything you find in this video that you like this 6x8 paper pad, oh my goodness, it is gorgeous. This particular one, let's start off from the top. I'm using a Peartree Cut File, and it is called Life's Better with a Dog, and I have 4 of them, so my life's obviously amazing. Oh, that just sounds so cheesy, but it's true. I love my dogs, and so that's this Peartree cut file. I'll have a link to the cut file. That one's not an affiliate link. That one's just where I bought the cut file from. Now, I am backing it traditionally today. Like, I'm doing what most people usually do with a cut file, because I had someone say to me, do you ever back a cut file normally? And yeah, I do, but not very often. But this particular paper pad, which is the Simple Stories, Simple Life 6x8 paper pad. Now, I'm calling it's a specialty paper pad, but it is paper. It's not thick, heavy cardstock. So I find it easier to back cut files this way if I'm using a paper rather than a cardstock. Does that make sense? So sometimes, for instance, I'm trying to think of some companies. Help me out here. Okay, so Cartabella and Cartabella Paper Co., 49th the Market, Simple Stories, they're 12x12 papers. They're called papers, but they're thick, they're heavyweight. Whereas this paper pad is a paper. So it's much easier to trim and cut out in and around the letters. I hope that makes sense. So it's lighter weight, and it's it kind of goes back to how I used to scrapbook when I very, very first started, and we're going back 20 years, so don't count. But but Creative Memories, their papers back then were quite, I haven't bought any recently, I have no idea anymore, but they had a lighter weight paper, to minimize bulk, minimize, I don't know, I don't even know why they did it that way, but it's yeah, they're probably still doing it that way. But to be quite honest, Jill, if you're watching this, comment below if they still make the lightweight papers. I'm not sure. I know that I paid for a membership last year, but honestly, I've never bought anything. I bought a couple of albums and that's it. Anyway, but I digress. So what I'm scrapping today is a photo of Gizmo. And if you're new to my channel, Gizmo is actually my eldest daughter's dog. And he's a little chihuahua, and he has got the personality. I swear, this dog is a human reincarnated. He is hilarious. He really is. He's cute. He's hilarious. He's funny. The things he does, he's my eldest daughter, and she won't mind me talking about this. She's given me approval. That's fine. She suffers with depression, and she's also been diagnosed with Asperger's, which is now called autism. But she has very high functioning depression and anxiety. And Gizmo is one of these dogs. When we finally gave in, she was asking for a chihuahua for the longest amount of time. Like, I'm talking, she worked on me and her father for about, I'd say about a good 6, maybe 7 years. Like, she just constantly hounded us for a chihuahua. And we kept saying, no, because we knew that we would be ending up dealing with all the crappy parts. If you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, we resisted for the longest amount of time. And when we finally gave in, we got Gizmo from a beautiful couple. At the time they were at Nanango, Kingaroy, I'm not sure. But she has got the most beautiful chihuahuas, and yeah, and he turned out to be the most precious little boy, and he can totally sense when Taylor's depressed or if her anxiety's going up. And he's kind of got that vibe with all of us, more so with Taylor, because, you know, they've got a real connection. But he like lays on her, and it's adorable. So when I saw this cut file, I thought, you know what, that is perfect, because he really is. Her life is better with her dog. So what I've done here, while I've been rabbiting on about Gizmo, I have added some FINNABAIRE clear gesso to a piece of flat white cardstock. It's the Poppy Crafts cardstock. It's nothing exciting. I was going to use the Vicky Bouton mixed media paper, and for some reason I just went on a tangent and I just did it old school. If you're considering getting into some mixed media, maybe you haven't really got into it very much and you sort of think, oh, I'd like to dabble in it a bit. If you want to save on buying gesso and all those things, have a look, because in the Crazy Craft Obsessions online store, they have Vicky Bouton foundations paper. They have it in both black and they have it in white. That paper is designed, by and large, to take on mixed media, wet media, and you don't have to add gesso to it or anything like that. Okay, it is fantastic. Why I didn't do it on this layout, why I didn't use it on this layout, I will never know. But this is another way of doing it if you've got gesso and blah 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 blah. Now, I use clear gesso because when I use white gesso, it takes away, it kind of you know when you add white to a paint, right? It dilutes it. Well, that's exactly what happens when I use a white gesso, which I never thought, you know, I always thought gesso's gesso. But I've played a lot, and let me tell you, all gessos are not made the same. Okay, they're not all made equal, and the FINNABAIRE clear gesso is amazing. Now, my packaging is still in the old style tube, but you can get it in a tub. Now, if you're after any of that, please click on the link below, go over, mention it to Cass, and she will get it in for you. Not a drama at all. So now I'm just going through, and I've done a little bit of mixed media, and I stopped because when you're doing the technique that I was just doing, the packaging technique, I don't like lots of big squished out sort of, if I'm in the mood to do little tiny dots, the thing is, what you need to do is let it dry between coats. So I've put the texture paste on there through the stencil, which is the polka dot stencil by Darkroom Door, and I put through the Crafters Workshop light and fluffy modeling paste. That just gives a little bit more texture, right? See how I've got like little spots, like it's mixed media on the back, but it's not really heavy. I used 3 different colors at this point: Lost Shadow, Bundled Sage, and Walnut Stain. Now, that was wonderful, but behind my white parts on my words, it wasn't standing out enough for me. So I decided to go in with some of the Walnut Stain, and I put it on there with a brush, but then with a blending brush, but I wanted the edges to be a bit more watercolory, if you know what I mean. So I'm just adding the teeny tiniest amount of water just to oxidize it so that you get that oxidized effect, because I really like, that's what I like about the oxides. You get that that oxidized effect, and it looks really, I love that look. So now the reason I flipped over my page and I was drying it from the back is because if I do that, it helps with the curling of the paper. So sometimes that happens and, you know, you can't help it. It doesn't really bother me because when I put them in my albums, I find they flatten out anyway. So it's not really a drama. Now, if you're like me and you like small splats, if you're going to ever do splats, you like to do small ones, use a fan brush. Game changer. Trust me. I have the Montmartre fan brush. I got it in a set of watercolor paintbrushes. And I have to tell you, it looks amazing. Now, it was at this point that I realised I was going too safe with my colours and I needed to be a little bit more bold. So I pulled out Rustic Wilderness, and I think that looks so much better. It wasn't looking like a mixed media statement. It was looking like I was just putting something in the background for whatever reason. And sometimes that's fine, but I was playing it a bit safe. So I came in with Rustic Wilderness, and as you can see, once it dries, now you can really see the different speckles. Now I'm going through and I'm adding some foam tape to the back of my title. This one is these strips that I'm using. If you're interested in these, look, if you want the squares, there is squares and circles, and I use those sometimes, but I've run out. And other times I use these strips. These strips are fantastic for when you do, what are they called? Shaker pockets, things like that. Or if you want to raise your photo up and want to like slip a journaling card behind it or something like that, it's great to use these strips because then you can slide things in and out and it raises it up off your layout. They're awesome. They're magic. Now, you'll see me come in here in a minute and I'm using a different kind of adhesive. Once I put these down, and by the way, these strips, mate, they don't move. I don't need to double up and use my art glitter glue on top of it because these puppies don't move. Likewise with the scrapbook adhesive, I think it's called, let me have a look. Let me try and grab the packaging without making a big noise. Yeah, scrapbook adhesives. You can get squares, you can get black, white, you can get circles, you can get tiny ones, you can get large ones. They're all in the store. They are fantastic. I'm just down to my last few squares, and that's why I use my strips on my title, because I ended up using the last of my squares in my little paws. So next order I'll have to get some more of those because they're really handy. And like these strips, these puppies go down and they don't come up. They really have great adhesive. Much the same as, like I said before, all foam adhesive is not made equal either. So see these little black dots that I'm putting in there? They are the squares. See how they're down the very bottom? I've cut two or three squares in half to fit inside. But as you can see, I'm just going to peel it off and see the black square. They are fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, those paws are going nowhere. Even on top of all that mixed media and texture paste and all that sort of stuff, it won't go anywhere. Now, you can probably see off to my left-hand side that I've got a 49th and Market Wishing Bubbles and Trinkets Vintage Artistry Essentials. They are adorable. Okay, if you're looking at pictures of them and you're sitting on the fence, they are stunning. They really, really are. And I'm not one much for, I like bling, but when it comes to flat epoxy, you know, what do they call them? Enamel dots, all that sort of stuff. I don't normally buy them very much. These are gorgeous. Even if you only want to do a few pages, these will lift your page big time. I absolutely love them. Now, I'm using the Simple Stories 6x8 paper pad, and I fussy cut these flowers out because the flowers on one side and the other side was like journaling cards, and I don't usually use journaling cards very much. So I have double backed my photo. It's on I triple matted it or double matted it. I only double matted the photo, and I raised it up and I'm just poking some florals in there. I absolutely love these. They were not difficult to cut out. There wasn't lots of twisting and turning and, you know, ending up with triangle corners and stuff. And I just grabbed my tweezers and I sort of squeeze the ends of my flowers to crunch them up a little bit so that they lift up off the page. Now I glue them down. I don't add foam adhesive behind them because I'm very much aware that when I put it in my album, they're going to flatten out anyway to a point. So I love how it looks. I love folding the leaves in half so that they have that sort of vein down the center look to them. And because the colors in this collection, I have a soft spot for earthy tones, and that's what this Simple Stories collection is. It's nice, warm, earthy tones, and they're stunning. I absolutely love them. They're like a dusty sort of pinky mushroom color. There's the grey with the green sort of sage color. And I also cut out some of these little butterflies. Now, again, they weren't difficult to cut out. I never cut out the antennae, okay? I always leave those little things on the paper. I just cut out the butterfly. It just makes it simple, and that way I can cut out and create my own ephemera for depending on the layout that I'm doing, whether I want to really zhuzh it right up or if I just want to make it nice, basic, simple layout. So yeah, it's just something a little different. I like to fussy cut where I can, and to be completely truthful with you guys, this 6x8 paper pad, if you bought nothing else, just that, you could create some really pretty layouts with it because it really is gorgeous. Now I'm bringing in some liquid pearls, and there's my mistake for the video. Bingo, right there. You know there's got to be one. I pulled out the liquid pearls and it was copper, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I put that on the flower and it was completely the wrong shade. It was very orange. So I pulled it off, and my way to fix it was I just glued another one of those little tiny flowers in the center, gives it more texture, put a few dots of the NUVO crystal drops in ebony black, put a couple of those in the center. I used some liquid pearls in platinum pearl, and I love how it looks. It is gorgeous. I needed to bring that bit of black in, and I probably could have left it at this point, right? Like it's fine. But I didn't want to do a complete border. I thought, no, I do that all the time. I need to try and not do that all the time. Now, but you do you. If you love borders every single time like I do, do it. But I'm trying to give you alternatives to doing a full border. So what I did is I cut my way into the paper on the side, and I use because my fingers are old and clunky, I use this quilling tool. I don't do quilling, but this tool is really, really handy to like roll the paper. This cardstock is quite thick, so it was hard to do, and it was hard to just tear with your fingers, but it works in the end. And I just added a little bit of the dark green paper from one of the pages in the 6x8 paper pad, and I think it turned out really nice. I think that's the little dark bit that it needed on the edge. Then I decided I'm just going to go around the edge with the Rustic Wilderness Distress Oxide ink, and I think that looks awesome. So let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up, a comment. Let me know if you think it works, if it doesn't work. Do you like the torn edge thing? Do you not? Do you like the cut file? Like I said, it's a Peartree cut file. I'll have everything down below, and I'll have store links, etc. And what else can I tell you? Like, subscribe, share my page, all that sort of thing. We're over 1,400 subscribers now, so if we can get ourselves to 1,500, I'm going to have a giveaway. So if you guys are up for that, who doesn't like extra supplies, am I right? So thank you so much for watching. I genuinely, look at all that texture. I absolutely love it. So let me know what you think, and I will be back tomorrow with another video. Thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. And look at those little butterflies. They're so cute. I absolutely love them. Thanks for watching. I'll chat to you again soon, guys. Bye for now.